The notion of trustworthy AI has recently been at the center of many debates on AI ethics, both scientific and public. Moreover, it is at the basis of the European Ethics Guidelines for Trustworthy AI. This document contains a number of ethical principles and requirements that AI systems developers and deployers should respect. The guidelines were published in 2019 and then became the ethical foundation for the AI Act. The AI Act, instead, is the recent European regulation for AI, approved last year. It has legal force and provides a unified regulation for AI. But coming back to today's topic, what does trustworthy AI mean? When we talk about trustworthy AI, we need to keep in mind that we are not referring to standard human trustworthiness. For humans and machines, being trustworthy does not mean the same thing. When we say that the person is trustworthy, we can mean that they are interested in our well-being, or that they do what they do out of goodwill. Or again, we may think about the fact that they always keep their promises. Clearly, things are different when we deal with AI systems. When we say that an AI system is trustworthy, we are not saying that the AI system has interests or motivations. What we mean is that the system has two main features. First, it performs well in terms of outputs. It is accurate and robust. In addition to this, and this is the second aspect, the system is complying with ethical norms and principles, making sure that it is responsibly designed and deployed. To understand better what trustworthiness in AI is about, let us look at the European guidelines we were mentioning before. According to the guidelines, there are 4 ethical imperatives that AI practitioners should respect: the respect for human autonomy, the prevention of harm, fairness, and explicability. To better understand them, let us consider how these principles are applied. As a matter of fact, they are very general and need to be made more specific. So, in the guidelines, they are translated into 7 more practical ethical requirements. First of all, we have the requirement of human agency and oversight. This means that AI systems should not represent a risk for fundamental rights. AI systems can support us in making decisions, but users must always be able to choose with autonomy. Among other things, they should never be manipulated. In addition to this, we must make sure that there are mechanisms for oversight, like a human-in-the-loop mechanism, that also allows us to intervene on the system when it is necessary. The second requirement concerns technical robustness and safety. To begin, as we have already anticipated, an AI system should be accurate. First of all, this means that it should provide correct predictions, classifications, and recommendations. Its results should be reproducible, and it should keep working under different conditions. In addition to these, AI systems should be protected against attacks, and they should have safeguard and fallback plans. The requirement of privacy and data governance is another crucial one. Think about the huge amount of information that is used to train these systems, and the possibility they offer when it comes to predicting users' data. Therefore, privacy and data protection must be guaranteed, also with respect to users' data inferred by the system. The integrity and quality of data are also fundamentals. As we will see in the next lecture, biases are a huge problem for contemporary AI. Finally, we need clear protocols that specify who can access the data and under which conditions. The following 2 requirements will be specifically addressed in the next 2 lectures, so let me just mention them. First, we have the requirement on transparency, that refers to the transparency of the data, the system, and the business model. Then, we have the requirement of diversity, non-discrimination, and fairness. Again, these issues will be addressed more specifically. Another very interesting requirement is societal and environmental well-being. First of all, we should constantly assess the effects of AI systems on societies and democracies. And especially when they are implemented in popular social networks, their potential impact is huge. In addition to this, we must always monitor the environmental sustainability of AI systems and intervene when needed. Even if we tend to think about AI as something immaterial or in the cloud, AI data centers require a huge amount of energy, water, and other material resources. Accountability is the last practical requirement mentioned in the guidelines. Internal and external auditors should be able to evaluate AI systems, and we should facilitate the reporting of negative impacts, such as incidents and so on. Also, decision makers should be accountable, and extra attention should be given to vulnerable groups. This includes also ensuring adequate mechanisms for redress. To recap, the guidelines identify different requirements for trustworthy AI. These requirements are very effective in showing us that trustworthy AI is not merely a technical issue. Trustworthiness is not just about how well a system works. Sure, AI systems have to produce correct outputs in a robust way. After all, the technical robustness and safety is one of the requirements of trustworthy AI. However, it is not the only one. Let's think about an AI-powered chatbot like ChatGPT and in general to systems based on large language models. These systems may be very powerful and produce linguistically perfect sentences. Being a bit optimistic, we can also assume that they systematically provide us with correct information. However, if they do not comply with all the requirements we have just seen, then they are not trustworthy. They may contain harmful biases or output sensitive data from the training dataset. In addition to these, large language models have well-known problems of transparency. In fact, there are problems of algorithmic opacity, and they are trained on vast bases of data. In addition, they are often proprietary models. It is also important to remember that these systems often have significant impacts on the environment. Both the training and the use of large language models requires a huge amount of energy, which translates into a high carbon footprint. On top of this, data centers need significant volumes of water for cooling. This is a big problem considering the current climate crisis and the fact that many data centers are located in hot and dry regions. Also, we should not forget that producing the hardware components the AI industry needs requires the extraction of rare earth and minerals, which can destroy the ecosystems and release pollutants. To sum up, the notion of trustworthy AI is an increasingly important one. True, we need to be careful in specifying that AI trustworthiness is not the same thing as human trustworthiness. At the same time, it allows us to capture different important aspects of the design and deployment of AI systems, especially ethically relevant ones.